What's going on, guys? Welcome to my very first ever review of a WWE pay-per-view. I wanted to do one of SummerSlam 2017. I wanted to do it the night of, just right after, but I got busy talking to a few friends about the pay-per-view and then fantasy booking the pay-per-view, and then I started watching Luke Cage, which is an amazing show, but that's not WWE related, so I wanted to go over every single match, give my thoughts on it, and how I would have booked the wins or if I would have kept them the same. So let's start with the kickoff show. We had Akira Tozawa versus Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship, and Neville did win that clean. And I'm gonna keep that match the way it is. If I had to book it, actually I wouldn't have had Neville lose in the first place, but Neville is now the first ever two-time Cruiserweight champion. So congratulations to Neville. I unfortunately did not see that match I didn't see any of the kickoff. I was at work, so I just have to go based off of the results. The next match, Jason Jordan and the Hardy Boys versus The Miz and The Miz Taraj. Now, I believe that was actually the very first match, and it was very dead, I heard, because of the fact that nobody was really in the arena yet. Everybody was still trying to get inside. WWE was they were just opening up the doors, so nobody was really watching that match because there was nobody there, and that's why The Miz was so pissed off on Monday Night Raw, which is understandable because, you go out there to have a match and you perform in front of 30 people. That's kind of sucks. And of course, Jason Jordan and the Hardy Boys won that. I'd keep that the same, but that match seemed a bit unnecessary, so I would have honestly scrapped it in my opinion. Let's go next to the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The New Day versus the Usos, which was also on the kickoff show. The Usos won the titles back. I would keep that the same. I love the Usos. They're my favorite tag team. I do love the New Day too, and I got to meet all three members at a live event once. They're awesome. But the Usos is day one-ish, guys. Like, I've been down with the Usos for years now, so I'd have to still give that to them. And then I believe the first match on the actual card was Big Show versus Big Cass. Of course, Cass won that, but it's just, I think it was an unnecessary match. The feud is kind of pointless. The whole Enzo and Big Cass thing is just a little overplayed now. It's been every single week, and then Big Show getting involved. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It just seems last minute put together, but it is what it is. They're trying to push Cass, and I guess you need a big guy to put over a big guy. So next match I want to talk about, Randy Orton versus Rusev. Now, to start things off, I want to start by talking about the simple fact that the last SmackDown Live last week before SummerSlam, Randy Orton was able to pin Jinder Mahal, but he couldn't do it the other, 3 times to get the title back, but on a random SmackDown he does. Makes no sense. Rusev just lost at Battleground, right? Yeah, Battleground to John Cena. And then he turns around, starts his feud with Randy. He gets RKO'd, twice in a row, 2 SmackDowns in a row, and then he loses to Randy, which is kind of unfair, and I didn't think I'd be saying this, but Rusev deserves a lot better, and there's rumors circulating that he's thinking about, or I guess asking for his release, and I would too, because they kept him off TV all summer, teased this little angle where he was going to talk to Shane McMahon, comes back, and he starts a feud with Cena, loses, even though the rumors said that he was scheduled to win it, because it was a flag match, and it wouldn't hurt Cena because he wasn't being pinned, but obviously that didn't happen. And now the next pay-per-view, he loses to Randy, and this feud was just really random and honestly pointless, and Rusev did deserve that win. He needed that win because his career is kind of being hurt right now. Next, John Cena versus Baron Corbin. Now, I understand the reason for this feud because Baron cashed in, and Cena is pretty much the reason why Baron's not the champion. But behind the scenes, the real reason why Baron isn't champion is because WWE officials and apparently Vince, according to rumors, of course, they'll take this with a grain of salt, they've lost interest in him and they've lost faith in him, as a top guy, and his push has kind of sort of been halted now, which is very unfortunate because the guy has a lot of potential, but I guess from what the rumors have said, Vince and other officials felt that his promos, Baron's promos against Cena were lackluster, and they felt that he just wasn't really trying, I guess. And then, of course, there's Baron's social media. Now, if you don't follow Baron on Twitter, you should, because the guy is pretty funny, but he is a bit of a dick, and you can tell that in his tweets. And sometimes, I mean, there's heel tweets, and then there's just asshole tweets, and Baron's tweets mostly come off as asshole tweets. So I guess the social media activity is kind of hurting him, and he is a bit of a cocky person. If you didn't see that WWE 24 on the WWE Network with the NXT stars, you should check that out, because Baron is a very cocky person. He's a little headstrong and a little bit full of himself. So I guess this is punishment. Same for Enzo, and why he keeps getting smacked around by Cass every week, is he's being punished because of all the backstage heat. But I'll get into that in another video. So next we'll go over the Raw Tag Team Championship. Sheamus and Cesaro, The Bar versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, aka the Hounds. Although that's not what they're officially calling themselves. I just like it a lot better than Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Now, I'm not a Dean fan by any means. I kind of dislike Dean. He wrestles kind of lazy in my opinion. But I am happy that they won the Tag Team Championships from The Bar, and I would keep that match the same. Now, interesting fun fact, after winning the tag team titles, Dean is now a Grand Slam champion. The first member of the Shield to be a Grand Slam champion. So congrats to Dean for that. That's pretty awesome, actually, because no one thought he was ever going to win a world title, for one. I never thought he was going to win the world title, but, I mean, hey, it happens. Next, we'll go over the SmackDown Women's Championship, where Naomi defended against Natalya. Now, Natalya did come out on top, and I will say that Natalya has deserved this title for quite some time, but I was completely kind of shocked, because all the rumors have said that WWE wants to keep Naomi as the champion for the remainder of the year, because they're trying to market her title, because it's got the lights on it, and that would probably sell like crazy, because Naomi's fan base is extremely huge. I mean, me being one of her biggest fans, and seeing how massive people have pretty much like taken over Twitter and started the hashtag Give Naomi a Chance, and now she's a two-time SmackDown Women's Champion. But Natty did deserve this win. However, if I had to book this match, I would have kept Naomi as the champion, or I would have had Carmella cash in right after Natty won it. But that didn't happen, so we'll see. I'm pretty sure Carmella's going to be champion. But next, I want to go over the Raw Women's Championship, Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks. Now, the interesting thing about this match is that Alexa and Sasha have real life heat. So they don't like each other in real life. So that's what makes this feud really interesting. Now, Sasha did win the title and become a 4-time Raw Women's Champion, tying Charlotte. But I did not want this match to happen. Now, I'm a huge Sasha fan. However, I felt that it should have been Nia Jax's turn to receive the title shot, because the rumors circulating around before SummerSlam said that Nia was going to be the one to go against Alexa Bliss. It was going to be best friend versus best friend match. And honestly, there's no way Alexa could have taken down Nia. There's nothing she could do to knock her down unless she used a chair, a kendo stick, or whatever. But it would have kind of been a squash match. Alexa would have fought back, of course. She is very talented, but I would have loved to have seen Nia holding the title above her head at the end of that match. But I will keep Sasha as the winner for my fantasy booking, because I do like Sasha more than Alexa. But Alexa is extremely talented, so I can't take that away from her. Next, Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. This has been a fantasy match in the minds of fans for years. Ever since Finn debuted the painted look at NXT, everybody has been talking about, oh my gosh, Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt. Everyone has wanted to see that match, and it finally happened. The only thing that sucks is that Bray continues to lose, and it's really hurting his career, because he has, I think, twice more losses in his career than he does wins, and it's really, really, really unfortunate. And unfortunately, I'd keep Finn as the winner too, because it looks like WWE is going with his painted look as his undefeated streak. Like he'll lose without the paint, but when he puts the paint on, that's when he's unbeatable and he's not going to lose. But it just sucks for Bray because he is a really hard worker. Next, we'll go over the United States Championship match, AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, with Shane McMahon as a special guest referee. AJ did retain. I would keep this match the same, except I would change the special guest referee to Daniel Bryan. And when KO and Shane got into a little altercation, I think it would have been better to have Daniel Bryan be there because he could have hit the running knee and, fans would have went nuts or whatever. Or I don't know. It just would have been a lot more special. And then, KO on SmackDown goes to attack Daniel, but Shane stops him, and that sets up a feud between the two of them because we know that this is now building up. Well, we don't know for sure, but apparently, according to rumors, like I said, take this with a grain of salt. The rumors are saying that the feud between KO and Shane are going to lead to a match at Survivor Series where it's going to be Team KO versus Team Shane, because KO versus Shane would not be a match that I think anyone would want to see, and that's just because of the fact that Shane can't really wrestle and KO would destroy him. Being completely honest, Kevin Owens would demolish Shane McMahon in seconds, more than likely, but we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks and months. So next, we're going to go over the WWE Championship, Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, a lot of people are not going to like this, but I was not excited at all for this match. I wanted Baron Corbin to cash in, and unfortunately, he cashed in on SmackDown Live and lost. So, if I had to pick a winner for this match, it would have been Shinsuke, just so I can say that Baron cashed in. But thanks to Jinder, who did retain, Shinsuke now has his first loss on the main roster, which I think is kind of surprising to everybody because Jinder actually beat Shinsuke, which is weird to say, and it's still weird to say that Jinder Mahal is the WWE champion. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like the dude. He obviously worked really hard to get in shape and to be an asset to the company and show that, he has something of value, but all the rumors going around and everything that's being said about his title reign, about the fact that WWE just wanted to expand in India, so having him as the champion was the best thing to do. It doesn't help his career, because once that's done and once Jinder loses the title, he's going to fall back into non-existence again, and he's not going to be a main event guy. This is just like a temporary thing, and it really sucks because, like I said, he worked really hard to get to where he is, and now, or well, not now, but once he loses that title, he's not gonna have the same momentum. He's probably gonna lose the Singh Bros, and he's gonna be jobbing again, most likely. Now, the last match of the night, the main event, Universal Championship, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe versus Braun Strowman. Fatal four-way match was absolutely ridiculous, guys. That match was crazy from start to finish. Now, if there was anything I would have changed about that match, it would have been the winner, because Brock did retain, unfortunately, by pinning my boy Roman. I would have, of course, had Roman win the title. But the other outcome I would have liked for that match is for Samoa Joe to have won, to put Brock to sleep. But that stupid stipulation where, if Brock loses, he leaves. Right then and there, that was a red flag that Brock was going to retain, because Brock's contract isn't up until after Mania 34. So unless WWE is gracious enough to just, hey, let him break the contract and get out of it and go back to the UFC full time. But I knew that wasn't going to happen. And when Brock got stretchered out, I knew he was going to come back out. I called it. I sat there with that look, and I was just like, oh, stop it. I even tweeted that out. And my biggest issue with Brock Lesnar being the Universal Champion is the fact that he never shows up. Roman Reigns actually said it best. After Roman kind of demolished Braun Strowman with the ambulance, the following night on Raw, he told Kurt Angle, he said, I took care of Braun Strowman because you didn't know how. And he looked at Brock and he said, and I did it because you're never here. Which, of course, is, a little bit of a shoot on Brock. But it's true. Brock is never there. He works, 30 days a year? And there's superstars that work 300 plus days a year working their ass off just to get a chance to hold that title. But because Brock is just this undefeatable beast, he just keeps the title and holds on to it. And the thing is, that also bugs me, is that WWE superstars are supposed to defend their titles every 30 days. Otherwise, you're stripped of the title. And that's why so many superstars get stripped of the title when they get injured, just because they're going to be out too long. And Brock has just got this special contract, which he doesn't have to do that. And it's kind of silly, and it's not fair to the other superstars who work so hard to get where they are. And, it was nice to see the Universal title again, on TV, and it showed up the following night on Raw, but now we know Brock and Braun are going to have their match at the next pay-per-view, so we probably won't see Brock for another month. Again, which it's really, really irritating, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see Brock at the Royal Rumble, which isn't until January. So think about that, guys. We're not going to see Brock for another month, and then we probably won't see him again until, I'm pretty sure not the Royal Rumble. There's going to be a couple other pay-per-views, but still, it's the fact that he's just never here. So, like I said, my two winners that I would have loved to have, my boy Roman, because he's my favorite, or Samoa Joe, because Samoa Joe is an absolute beast. And rumors were circulating that even Heyman was petitioning for, not petitioning, but he was campaigning, I guess you can say, for Samoa Joe to win the title, but Brock retained. So those are all the matches for SummerSlam 2017. Overall, I give this pay-per-view I want to say 7.5, maybe 8 out of 10. It was pretty good. I did miss a few matches being at work and then having to drive home, but from what I did catch, the pay-per-view was pretty damn good. Some of the matches were pretty damn good, not the whole pay-per-view. But those are my outcome, or those are my thoughts on the pay-per-view. Let me know what you guys think about what I said and about the pay-per-view. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later.